It's Group D in the Champions League. It's time for another preview and prediction video. We've got Real Madrid, we've got Shakhtar, we've got Inter Milan, and we've got the mighty FC Sheriff. I literally can't even remember what the other word in their club name is. It's Sheriff something beginning with a T. I don't know what that word is. That's how little I think of that club. But can they cause an upset? No. They can't. This is the next video in the preview and prediction series. You should know by now, you should have watched all 3 other videos, and if you haven't done that, make sure to go do it. In fact, by the time you're watching these videos, no doubt the first match week will have been played. However, as you're watching this, I'm vibing on holiday in Gran Canaria, chilling out. I've got a pina colada, I've got some garlic prawns, I've got some spaghetti, I've got my tapas, I've got my beer. It is a lovely time, no doubt, and also no doubt I'll be horrendously sunburned by this point because I'm just really bad at not getting sunburned. I don't know why. I think it's just in my DNA at this point. And speaking of D, not my OnlyFans, it's Group D time. Do make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and also make sure to follow the Twitch. We do regular live streams, football watch-alongs, gaming streams, general chit-chatting over on Twitch. I'll be doing some Instagram stories, no doubt, so if you want to stay updated with how my holiday is going, and I know you do, the Instagram is the place to be. But anyway, let's talk about the reason why you're here. You know, the football. Group D, it's another group where the number 1 and 2 spots should be guaranteed. Real Madrid have only signed 2 players in the transfer window, Alaba and Camavinga, but the team is going to look incredibly different to what we saw last season and the seasons prior because both Varane and Ramos, that defensive partnership in the centre of their defence, has gone. Varane sold to United and Ramos has been allowed to go to PSG, who's also their captain and their leader, and they failed to get Mbappe. They tried to create funds for Mbappe by selling both Varane and Ramos, so it's the most Real Madrid thing to do, to get rid of defenders to try and sign an attacker, but Mbappe didn't come in the end. But they were able to replace one of them at least with Alaba from Bayern Munich. I think that's a fantastic signing, and Camavinga could be fantastic, brilliant signing, depending on whether they're able to mould him properly into the player he can be. He could play basically anywhere in central midfield. He could be more attack minded, just general centrally, or more defensive minded because he is at that age where you can do anything with him. I actually thought someone like United should have gone for Camavinga to take a risk on him, but Real Madrid did that instead, and he will be learning from the likes of Kroos, Modric, Casemiro in midfield. They aren't the same team that they were few years ago in terms of they aren't at the peak of their powers, but they are still incredibly dangerous. Toni Kroos in particular is probably the best of those 3 at this moment in time. There's Benzema as well, obviously, and it's a big if, but if Hazard and Bale can rediscover their form, if they can remain injury-free, then Real could be a genuine threat going in deeper into the competition. But I do still think it will be a few years before they return as genuine challengers for the Champions League. There'll be a bit of transition going on, a bit of rebuilding, restructuring before that happens. Moving on to Inter Milan. Had this been the Inter Milan that ended last season as the Serie A winners, as runaway league champions, ending Juventus' near-decade monopoly, spearheaded by Lukaku, managed by elite manager Conte, I could really see Inter as a genuine shout for winning the whole Champions League because they were that good. But the unfortunate reality is that they are financially weak, and because of that they suffered some serious losses. We're talking Conte, Lukaku, Hakimi, and through no fault of their own, Eriksen, because he's obviously suffered a cardiac arrest at the Euros, and I believe he's got a pacemaker or some other device going on, and as far as I'm aware, in the Italian league you're not allowed to have one of those and be a player in Serie A. Now, Dzeko has been brought in as the Lukaku replacement. Very different player from Lukaku, but still incredibly good, heavily underrated at City. He was fantastic at City. And Inzaghi is the new manager, inexperienced at the elite level. He was Lazio manager prior to this. There's also a big jump between Lazio and Inter Milan, but his start with Inter has been promising. He's been much more attacking with Inter than Conte was, and Dzeko at 35 is still a brilliant striker. I can really see him linking up quite well with Martinez in a very similar vein to the whole Dzeko-Aguero situation under Pellegrini, where it was big striker, little striker. I do think that could potentially be a very nice partnership that could be created. But those are the 2 big boys and the teams I expect to go through. We've also got Shakhtar, and Shakhtar are one of the teams we don't really know what's going to happen. They can sometimes pull a result out of their arse, but then they can just go and then get absolutely pumped by a team the next match week. So they're a bit of a weird one. I can't really see them overthrowing either Real or Inter Milan. I don't even know if they're going to beat New Boys Sheriff at their ground in Moldova. But speaking of the Moldova New Boys, it's Sheriff, and the name is Sheriff Tiraspol. Tiraspol? Sounds like Sheriff Tiraspol. I don't know. FC Sheriff. It's the Moldovan side first time in the Champions League, and I believe it's the first time a Moldovan side has ever been in the Champions League. So that's interesting, I guess. Good for them. They'll be happy to just be there. And I can see potentially an upset or two taking place in Moldova, because it'll be a very Eastern Europe, very intimidating atmosphere. It'll be their first time in the Champions League. They'll be absolutely up for it. So maybe they can get a draw, maybe even a win at home. But I don't see them doing anything away from home. And I do think they'll finish bottom of the group ultimately. So their first season in the Champions League will end in crushing defeat. So I think it's going to be FC Sheriff at the bottom, Shakhtar in third, Real Madrid in second, and then Inter Milan, despite being relatively depleted compared to last season. No Conte either. I do see them winning the group, but I do think it will be very tight between Inter and Real Madrid. The next group is Group E. Stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out tomorrow, and after that it'll be Group F, and after that it'll be Group G, and after that it'll be Group H. I've got this prepped and ready so you guys have Nobbins content whilst I am away living the good life in Gran Canaria. Until the next video, guys, have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.